Hauka，我一辈子一直都酷爱不同的语言，今天想跟你们分享一下我的那个热情。Desde niño me encantan los idiomas y quisiera compartir con ustedes esa pasión. Ojalá eso les inspire a que aprendan otro idioma o a que vuelvan a usar uno que hayan abandonado. J'adore les langues et j'aimerais partager cette passion avec vous. Ich liebe Sprachen und ich möchte gern diese Leidenschaft met Ihnen teilen. Ik hou van talen en ik wil deze passie graag met jullie delen. Я люблю языки и хочу поделиться с вами этой страстью. Don't worry, the rest of the talk will be in English. As you can possibly tell by my accent, I am not actually from Chula Vista. I'm from Orange County. As I said just now in 6 languages, I'd like to share my passion for language with you and hopefully inspire you to learn a new language or revive an old one. One of the things that people often say about languages is that they're like good for getting a job or that you need them for travel. Well, I tend to think that languages are fascinating in and of themselves, and I'd like to help you experience that fascination here today. When I first came on stage, I said hauka, and you replied. That's hello in the Kumeyaay language, which has been spoken in and around Chula Vista for the last 12,000 years. California is a wonderful place to talk about language. Before the European invasion, there were over 100 languages spoken in California, and that's out of 296 spoken in the entire continent. So over a third of the languages of North America were spoken in California. And California is still the most linguistically diverse part of the United States, with 16 languages with over 100,000 speakers each. Now, I've learned several languages in my career and living in various parts of the world, and now I'm learning a new one, Californian. I came down on the 5 from Orange County, California, and then I switched over to the 805 and took the off-ramp onto East 8th Street and turned left. Thank you to Saturday Night Live for the loan of those vowels. I love language. I love language like some people love music or food. Being able to say just a few words of someone else's language helps me show them that I respect them and value their culture. I find that when I speak another language, I become a slightly different person and I see the world differently. I was also really pleased recently to discover that if you speak another language, that can delay dementia and aid recovery from strokes. I've worked with learners and teachers from many parts of the world, and I find that language learning isn't as difficult as many people think. Basically, though, I just love language for language's sake. Language is a magnificent creation of the human mind, and there is no such thing as a primitive language. There are some societies which have a lower level of technological development or art or social structure, but their languages are all equally sophisticated and able to express wonderful nuances of meaning. Some languages, there are some simple languages. Sometimes what happens is that when 2 societies get together and don't have a language in common, they create what's called a pidgin, where they create like a stripped down version of the languages and can communicate more easily, like Mitazan Eugene. That's what happened with modern English, when Anglo-Saxons and Scandinavians had to communicate with each other. And they stripped out all of the gender and complex grammar and just got their meaning across like that. What happens next, though, is the fascinating part. Once children start to learn these simple languages, the human brain does its magic and fills in the gaps. Suddenly, the languages develop all of the sophistication and complexity and idiosyncrasy and irregularity of true languages. Tarzan and Jane's children are suddenly saying, I wonder if I might be so bold as to introduce myself. My name is Hugh Grant. Even the most primitive societies have really complicated languages with fantastic ranges of pronunciation. Just like some people learn to play a musical instrument just for the pure pleasure of it, by learning other languages, we can experience the amazing virtuosity of our vocal tracts. And that's one of the things I really love. I love getting my mouth around the wonderful sounds of the world's languages. One of my favorite sounds is, and I'm going to teach you how to say it. So we start off with the normal English sound, L sound. So say after me, please, Now keep your tongue in the same position and breathe in. And now breathe out really hard. And that's the sound. Like ahla, ahla. You can hear it in Welsh, where they spell it with a double L, and it occurs in lots of Welsh place names, which begin with Llan, which means parish church of, and then the name of the saint. Like, for example, Llanedi, Llanelli, Llangollen, and the famous Llanfair Pwll Gwyngyll, Gogera Gwyn Robwll, Llantysilio Gogogoch. I learned how to say that when I was 17, and I went to North Wales on holiday with my then girlfriend. I've never been particularly athletic or anything, so I thought I would impress her with my prowess at pronouncing long Welsh place names. I got on the bus and said, 2 tickets to Llanfair, yeah, all right, 20 pence, move along, I haven't got all day. Imagine my excitement when last year I went to Monument Valley and met some speakers of Navajo. And they were telling me about their language. And they showed me that it had some of my favorite sounds in it. For example, horse is li, and frog is cha'at. You're a wonderful audience, thank you. You'll notice that they use some exciting letters, because what happened when they were creating the writing system for Navajo, they had to find ways of spelling the sounds that English doesn't have letters for. So they made the most obvious choice, Polish. Can you imagine it's pretty difficult to find like Polish letters in Arizona and Utah? And I also have this image of like Navajo typesetters wandering around Warsaw in the middle of the Cold War in search of spare fonts. Hello. Could I have a bag of the L's with a line through, please? You're not Polish, are you? No, we're Navajo. What do the Navajo want with our Polish L's? We spell the sound with them. In Polish, we use them to spell the city, Łódź. That says Łódź. Yes, Łódź. Okay. You want anything else? Yeah, 1/2 pound of mixed vowels with the little dangly things, please. Languages slice up reality in different ways. So English is really concerned with who does what to whom and whether they did it in the past or not. Some other languages classify things according to their shape. So, for example, in Chinese, there's a distinction between long, thin things and kind of wider, flat things. In Navajo, you add tle to the verb when you talk about mushy things, like ice cream and mud and slumped drunks. Word order is also very important. You know that in English we say green sticks, whereas in Spanish we say palos verdes, which is like sticks green. That'd make a wonderful name for a city, wouldn't it? In Japanese, I live in ChulaVista comes out as I, ChulaVista in, live. And did you read the book I gave you for your birthday? Is the Your Birthday for I Gave You book you read? Question? Shouldn't be surprising that getting your head around these interesting structures is great exercise for the brain. In fact, brain scans of people learning languages show that they're creating connections across lots and lots of different parts of the brain. Research shows that speaking a foreign language regularly can offset the beginning of dementia by 6 years. Now that's more than you get from healthy eating or regular exercise. I am not saying that you should give up your gym membership and spend your life on the couch eating fast food, learning Swahili. I never said it, and it's on video, so I've got the proof. Some societies appreciate the sheer pleasure of learning and speaking other languages, but those of us who live in monolingual societies miss out on that. Monolingualism, just speaking one language, is weird. The vast majority of people on this planet speak more than one language on a regular basis, on a daily basis. In Africa, India, China, people are speaking 1 or 2 languages at home and another one or ones at work. Monolingualism in our societies is relatively new, and it's not a good thing. It can make us think that our way of seeing things is the only way. Some societies have gone as far as to think that being multilingual is a bad thing. They've banned other languages. That happened historically in the UK with Welsh, and in the United States, for example, with American Sign Language. People thought that English would be better for you, so you shouldn't go and speak these other languages. And sadly, we sometimes do that to ourselves. When we move to another country, we think that by keeping up our own language, we're somehow disadvantaging our children in the new culture. But sadly, the opposite is true. We're cutting them off from the advantages of multilingualism and severing their links with their heritage. We are at absolutely the right place and time if we want to learn another language. We are just miles from Mexico, but even here at home, there are 9.6 million Spanish speakers. Viva la Hispanidad. And more Chinese and Vietnamese speakers than anywhere else in the US. Technology helps us learn languages easier than ever before. There are iPhone apps and Android apps. You can get TV and movies on demand, and there are websites that help you connect to people the other side of the world for conversation practice. Imagine a California where everyone speaks several languages, where grandkids can chat freely to los abuelos, where migrants and refugees can be welcomed in their own language, where we delight in linguistic diversity, where we are proud of the languages of our cultures and of our communities. You can be part of that new world. Terima kasih, gracias, obrigado, thank you.